Obviously, we want to welcome you again to another AMA session in the live Terra Virtua Discord voice channel. Today, we have a very, very, very special guest, a humble and mildly popular BruceTheGoose, everybody.
Woo!
Give it up for BruceTheGoose. BruceTheGoose. Oh my goodness, I chopped that up. Sorry.
He gave me permission to say Brucey Goosey, so we can use that.
I did that. He was here the whole time, Russ.
Okay, fine. Welcome, Bruce. Happy to have you. If you want to give a quick little intro, how do you do that, Jeff? You said it so eloquently last time.
Sure. So,
yeah, you're the intro guy.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So Bruce, if you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself, anything you want to tell to the community, give us a little bit of a background, and then once you go through a little intro, we're gonna head over into this presentation that we have set up, as well as ask you some questions from us, and then we'll take some questions from the community.
Sure. I come from, I guess, my background is like every dead-end job ever. I never really put too much time or focus into art because I never really saw myself having a lot of potential with it until I discovered crypto art and the NFT community, which is also what got me into crypto in the first place. And now it's become pretty much my full-time job. I don't work a day job. I'm not making a ton of money, but I'm paying my bills and I like what I'm doing all day instead of working at a job I hate to make ends meet. So that's pretty incredible, and I feel like things kind of hit different when you're all in. My income is my art, so if I don't sell art, I don't pay bills.
It's like next level motivation right there.
It really is. I didn't have a job when I started. About December last year, the guy who was my boss is now my landlord. He goes to Florida for the winter every year, and so I didn't have any work. And then COVID hit, and it was I can't really go anywhere to look for work, so this is it.
Man.
That's really
well.
cool.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't have it any other way, really. Got me so involved in crypto and the whole focus of decentralization. I think is incredible, and the potential for artists to self-monetize and be in charge of their own stuff is amazing to me. I spend as much as I make on art probably. Every sale I get, I turn around and buy new NFTs. I think between Wax, Hive, and Ethereum, I probably have 2,500 NFTs. Maybe there's more. I don't know. I have a lot.
So you're saying, as far as your art background goes, are you saying that? Because I know you're talented. Well, you're talented in several areas, and I think.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
This is kind of just like another medium to express your creativity. But I know you have don't you have a musical background and then
no, not at all.
Okay, that was a different.
My background is literally
that was a different
every
goose.
job ever.
Just scratch that.
I mean, I do. I make
this is
music
awesome,
occasionally,
by the way.
but I don't have any background in it. It's just.
No, listen. This is truly
Jeff.
A dream come true. This is just amazing to me because I think George said it right. It's the greatest motivation. If you're in between jobs, we have a pandemic going on. You got a landlord that's moving from Florida. You have your back against the wall, so you figure out something to do. And when you do that, it breeds a new skill. And for those that don't know, and which we'll get to on the screen, Bruce had uploaded 6 pieces and had already sold 4. So clearly there's some talent here. So I'm just laughing because this is just an amazing story. I love stories like this. So sorry to interject on that, Bruce, but yeah, keep it up. You're obviously doing something right.
Yeah.
I got serious imposter syndrome every day because there's so many amazing artists in this space that have formal art education and history of doing it. And I'm I just kind of started doing stuff one day and it stuck. So, but I think in a way I'm glad I don't have any real art history or formal education because then I'm not I don't feel as though this is my style and this is what I'm good at. I just kind of do whatever, and sometimes I like it and it gets me in it, and sometimes I don't like it and it sits on my computer.
But do you draw inspiration from certain things, or you just sit at your computer and you're I'm gonna create something?
Sometimes I take inspiration from pop culture and current events and stuff like that, and like a lot of the other artists in this space just inspire me to like keep creating and keep challenging myself.
Yeah.
And then other times it's just like I'm just gonna make something and we're gonna see what happens.
So what's the story behind these here on the pieces you have on Terra Virtua?
These were actually made with I was looking into creative coding and like generative art stuff, and like that just blows me away. I do a lot of stuff with AI and neural networks.
Wow.
And I found a open source generative art script that like sources color palettes and textures and densities and all these other variables from a collection of images, like in an asset library of images. And so I tweaked a bunch of the settings for like I don't really know how to explain it because I don't understand all the JavaScript magic that it does. But I changed a lot of the numerical variables, and then I replaced the entire asset library with my previous artworks.
Wow. That's really
cool. So hold on. So is this kind of something of a big secret that you can't tell us, or can you tell us the actual program
secret
tools
sauce?
that you use?
Jeff is trying to get the secret sauce. Don't give it to him.
Will you let him answer the damn question, Russ?
I could probably find the secret sauce. Let me see if I can find it.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Jeff is trolling. Jeff is trolling. I do want to hop in here.
First off, I am not trolling. I'm just genuinely curious. I ask all the artists this question. You know, I think it's intriguing to see, and especially for other artists, to see what complementary artists are, what tools they're using in the space to create the art. Because you're seeing there's so many different ways to create art, and I think it's cool if it's not a big secret, because I know if you're doing or writing your own program for this, then of course you don't want to give that away. But it was more of a curiosity question for everybody out there. You know, when we're looking at these.
I didn't initially write it. I just modified it to use my art, and then I changed some of the numeric variables for how the stuff comes together as it generates. I don't really understand it. I'm a no coder.
Did you discover that on your own, like, or did someone like, hey man, you gotta try this out, or were you just exploring?
No, it was just it was just something I stumbled across. Like I very thoroughly explore the crypto rabbit hole, and like making a living from digital art has like gotten me to very deeply explore that rabbit hole too, and I'm always finding new toys to play with.
You know what I'm really curious about is I want to know like a day in the life of BruceTheGoose, and I have a feeling it's like either I feel like if I know that, I can kind of see the full picture here, because it seems like you do a lot, and I want to kind of get behind the whole process if you can kind of outline it. Like, or just a day. A day in the life of Bruce.
NFTs have kind of become like my whole life.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really shy about the fact. Like I'm not really ashamed to say that for a very long time I've struggled with a lot of mental health issues, and like the community surrounding NFTs and like the art community here specifically has been like life-changing for me. Like I credit the crypto art community with getting me through 2020. Like I don't think I could have survived all that crap without having something to wake up and look forward to every day.
I feel that, man.
That's awesome. Like, that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, it's just, that's why I'm building NFT Hub as like a free resource, because it's I dig through this rabbit hole all day, every day. And
Tell
like,
us about that, Bruce. Tell us about NFT Hub.
If you guys are familiar with Product Hunt, it's essentially that for NFTs. But for people who aren't familiar with Product Hunt, and since there's a bunch of other features, the core idea is it's a directory and social platform for anything and everything non-fungible.
Wow.
Like blockchain agnostic, community curated. Anybody can like list their project, and anybody can talk on the forums. There's custom social feeds where like, so if you're in a DAO or something, like you could set up a custom social feed that's just for your DAO.
My goodness. I honestly like that sounds like such a no-brainer that I'm kind of bummed. Like
a public event calendar is on there. Like anybody can submit events to the calendar, and then it's just a matter like we just have to approve it.
How long have you been working on
that? It started as a whole different idea back in April of last year, and then like for the most part, for most of the time working on it, I've been doing it alone. I got a few people working with me on it now.
That's really cool.
probably 8 months. Like the idea's evolved a few times, and like what's its overall mission has evolved a couple times. But essentially, it's going to be a directory, social network, calendar, and a few other bells and whistles for everything non-fungible.
Hey Bruce, do you have like a Twitter or a Discord for that or link that we could drop into the voice chat for people that perhaps want to go check that out?
Yeah, it's on Twitter, Medium.
Oh, I got it right here. It's just at NFT Hub, I think, right?
Yeah, Twitter at NFT Hub, medium.com/NFT Hub for the articles on it. Then the Discord is discord.house.
/NFT Hub. Yep. So if you guys go over to Twitter, you should be able to find all the links necessary to, well, you'll find the link to Discord, but then I'm sure you can find it on Medium just by looking up NFT Hub as well. So if you guys are curious, go on and check that out. Sounds super interesting.
I'm curious about how you discovered this ecosystem in the first place. Like usually was it a mutual friend or was it just like you were exploring one day?
That's actually a very interesting story.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know, an acquaintance of mine for a long time was like trying to tell me about crypto, and I would just tune out. Like, I don't really care, dude. Like, I have no interest in it. Bitcoin is scam. And then probably around this time last year, like I was learning, like researching how to do drop shipping and other stuff like that. Cause like I was out of a job. It was like, well, I sit at my computer all day. I may as well start making some money. And like I learned a whole bunch of, like I learned web design and social media marketing and all this other crap because I didn't really have any money. So it was like, all right, I got to do all this myself. And then banks and credit card companies do not want to deal with you as a first-time business owner with no sales history. So that's fun. So like I was calling people left and right, like, and everybody's like, nope, nope, nope. It's like, all right, well, that's cool. And so it's like, well, maybe Bitcoin is an option. Like, apparently that's the whole thing these days. Maybe that'll work. And so I started researching how to like take Bitcoin for online payments for stuff, and I stumbled onto the announcement for Engine's cryptocurrency. And I've played Minecraft for a lot of years on and off, so like I'm familiar with Engine. I'm like, what does Engine need a cryptocurrency for? And then like I started digging into that, and I learned about like their multiverse network for like interoperable gaming NFTs, and that blew my mind because I've been a gamer for like my whole life. And then got a little deeper in the rabbit hole, and came across Async Art with their first release, and I was like, whoa, this is insane. And started like from there. It was like I think from there I found Scent, and just like the community around the crypto art stuff was like, you've never met a nicer group of strangers on the internet. There's no community like this anywhere I've ever seen.
It's weird, right? There's a lot of nice people in this space. It's kind of strange sometimes, and I mean, I attempt to be nice, but I haven't really run into too many bad figures yet.
So
I don't think there's very many bad actors that are like genuinely.
Yeah.
Oh no. Otherwise,
either.
They're really good schemers, and then I'm just sold. I've drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But no, it's just
That
straight
too.
quality. You find some of the greatest people here. I had like a backstory. I tried to actually exit the space, and I know it sounds weird, like 3 different times, but something just kept pulling me back, and then I later found out it was totally the community. Like there's just something that you access here that you don't get anywhere else, and it's always like refreshing just to come here, even at the end of a long day, or for you at all of your day. It's just cool to be a part of it, and you really do feel like everyone is kind of like pushing the needle. Like your entrepreneur spirit like is obviously shows in all that you do. And it's just really cool to know that people like this is even possible. That it has nothing to do with like what's going on in your day to day. Like I don't know, like it's like we get to have our own. It's like you get to be yourself online. Like I love
like a whole other world.
like anonymity is so cool because it really just allows. It's weird. Everyone has like their own stance on like, oh, anonymous, you just want to be a criminal. I'm like, well, no, like some people like love being anonymous just because like they're a celebrity and they just want to have a break from that world, and they get to be, you know, anonymous in these communities and be who they are, you know, not put on a show. And I feel like you get some level of genuineness. And I mean, you know, you have people who, you know, aren't, you know, taking advantage of that, you know, and whatnot. But I just really love the fact that you can come here without any of like the baggage of the world or things that going on, and just have like, I don't know, it's like a clean slate to me. And I love that.
I think from a creative perspective, for a lot of people, I mean, I've been a relatively creative person my whole life. Like, before I started doing crypto art and stuff, my main outlet was creative writing. But like, I've very rarely shared any of it with anybody, because it's, you know, like fear of rejection, I guess.
Yeah.
Just natural human nature. But like, from like, if I can share my art with the world as BruceTheGoose, and if people don't like it, well then too damn bad, because I'm still me. You know, like, it's less personal. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not like my real name attached to it. It's not really me putting myself out there. It's an online persona.
Are you saying there's creative writing that isn't public to the world yet, or is it?
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
So you're withholding things. I'm very curious, dude. I'm very curious. I honestly, I love your personality, and I imagine it is definitely reflected in your writing as well. Super humble, like, and really, man, like, you should, like, your entrepreneur spirit is really incredible. The fact that you really, like, you did this grind and like you made this happen, like, you really should give yourself a whole lot of credit. Like, I see it like it reflects to, like, you know, Pranksy. I know obviously everyone knows Pranksy, but like, you literally remind me a lot of Pranksy. Like, you just, like, you live and breathe it. You know what it takes to like achieve your goals, and you're doing it, and it's so cool to kind of like see that happen.
You hear that, Bruce? You're a crypto personality.
I think he's like,
I die a little inside every time someone calls me an influencer, but these days I'm just gonna suck it up and accept it.
Can we have a crypto?
Introducing Bruce, the influencer, the goose.
I think we can come up with a cooler title. Like, a crypto influencer can be a different term. We can collectively come up with a different term than influencer.
I also hate that term. I'm not gonna lie. I hate that term. I hate the term influencer.
I hate the influencer economy. Like,
me too, man. It's
maybe
totally
it's because I
bogus.
can't tap into it. Like, I shill other people's crap all the time, and nobody's paying me for it. So like, maybe I'm just salty, but who knows?
It's out of love. I think we act like we shill each other's stuff accidentally because we just care and we want to push the ecosystem forward. And if you know, George Boya is successful, then, you know, like, we're all successful. If that, I know I'm just reading his name off the chat right now, but like, it really is a collective success, and that's genuinely how I feel.
Yeah, the rising tide lifts all ships, so might as well be that tide.
You see Mark Cuban selling, you know, like, Mark Cuban doesn't need more money. Like, let's
I could
be
give
honest.
a damn about Mark Cuban,
well,
but
I'm just saying, like,
Mark Cuban
yeah,
selling an NFT is good for me.
Exactly. See, you see that.
Well, hold on a second. Mark Cuban is very intelligent, and a lot of the stuff he says makes sense. But I just feel like there's kind of like an arrogant tag attached to it, as if like everything I say, like a know-it-all tag, right?
We love you, Mark Cuban, if you're listening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hey,
listen, Mark.
Ashes,
Mark. Dude,
Ash
listen,
is like, dude, stop, man.
my point is like, you know, we just had an internal joke where we saw, I think it was Gene Simmons started tweeting about Bitcoin, and now all of a sudden, you know, he's a trader, he's a crypto influencer, and I just think it doesn't really matter how much money you have, right? I mean, there's people in this space that are way more brilliant than Mark Cuban is right now, and I think it's unfair to give that leverage to Cuban, or even as a joke to Gene Simmons, just because of their popularity and they had success like out of this space. Doesn't necessarily mean they can come in here and start talking like they know everything about this space. There's developers that have been around, you know, working on this, you know, on NFTs for years and years, and developing, you know, like the ERC 721 protocol. And you think it's hard to. The people that are really doing it aren't the talking heads. That's where I think I'm going with this, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it's I don't know. I don't want to get off track.
Well, in a few years, we will be the talking heads, right? Because like, when NFTs eat the world, we're gonna be the pioneers. Like,
hey,
we've
Bruce,
been here, we have the knowledge, we have the experience.
I say that like I'm an NFT collector first before anything else. I've been caught saying that before. But my point with the Mark Cuban thing is like someone comes in, they know nothing about this, but they see a tweet from Mark Cuban, and then as they go on, whatever platform for the marketplace, then they see Bruce's stuff, or then they see George Boyle's stuff, and it's just an entry point to me. And honestly, like to me, like it's just it. What Bruce was saying. The tide. What is it? The tide
Rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah, see, I totally agree, and I definitely have an open arms policy to the mainstream, and the more the merrier. We always forget to consider the fact that the community, albeit like it's still small, like in comparison to
very small,
right? And so this is like you're early to
and
the
I think
early party.
I think probably 80% of NFT collectors right now were already crypto whales. So like they're just reinvesting and like flipping to make more money.
I agree.
Yeah, I
Whereas
agree.
5 years from now, we'll have like actual art collectors that are coming in to like actually buy art. And it's
you know what, Bruce? I'm going to actually even disagree with you here. I think it's going to happen sooner. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
we have seen such a massive boom in digital art in the second half of 2020, and it didn't stop. I mean, we came in 2021, and it is roaring right now. And I think a lot of us in here are familiar with what Hash Masks is doing right now, which is just blowing records out of the water. And it's based on digital art, and it's fun. It's interactive. There's a lot of different DeFi elements to it. So I think people in the traditional space are learning that you can come in and not necessarily be a genius or an expert, but also have fun and get involved with this, because it's not as difficult or as intimidating as some feel. So I think in the next year or two, I mean, even us, we've been reaching out to traditional artists as well to kind of test the waters, see if they want to experiment, dip their toe in and try out this space. And we're getting really positive feedback for it. So I think this is actually going to boost the current digital artists such as yourself, and others that we've had on Discord voice discussions, because you're grandfathered in early. And even though it's not 2013 and the rise of Bitcoin from 50 cents to 30,000, you guys are still here early. You're doing it. You have the experience, the knowledge. You look at, you're creating NFT Hub, right? So you're starting to expand. You're starting to share your knowledge with a larger community. And that, to me, is what's going to help grow this space, is everyone that's here now is sort of like seeds that are going to be watered in time, right? And when they sprout, all the traditional people come in, and that's it.
We're like earlier than early adopters. Like we're building the foundation of the NFT industry right now, and
totally,
that's awesome.
It's definitely the cutting edge stuff. Is it bleeding edge technology? This is bleeding edge. Is that the right way to use it? Anyone?
Yeah. I mean,
Just go with it, guys. Just help me sound cool here.
That's tough to do, Russ.
I know. I make everyone's job really hard.
The goal here is to make this stream seem like one of us has any idea what the hell we're talking about.
Is it working? Can anyone in the crowd let us know if it's working, if you're convinced that we know what we're doing?
Generally my overall goal is to make people think I have any idea what I'm doing.
Well, here's the thing. It's funny because like this technology moves so fast. You really got to be somewhat of a showman, because to be honest with you, you probably haven't kept up with everything that's been going on in space. Like, we try to.
It's impossible.
But there's just so much momentum.
I try very hard, but it all moves so damn fast.
It can be like pretty cumbersome and like to try and do that. So yeah, this is I like this space. This is like my safe space, honestly.
That's actually the primary motivation for NFT Hub is like I do not have enough hours in the day to keep track of everything and learn about all the cool projects. So like if everybody just brings them to me.
You're truly an entrepreneur, because like how some people create a solution in search of a problem. You saw a problem and now you want to create a solution. So like
I am the target audience for the product.
See, and honestly, I spoke with the founder of the Trust Wallet, and that literally is why he created the Trust Wallet, because he's like, I want this, because back in like my early days, like in this world of like, I'm gonna be a little candid here. Like I was just like, man, it looks like there's a lot of money here. Maybe I should, poke my head in for a little bit longer. And then like someone actually had a great quote, came for the bag, stayed for the community. Like and if you said that and you're here, I want to give you credit because it was so. I'm gonna keep using it. But it is true. Like, and I think, I mean, I think you see it when we have these bull runs. People come for the bags, and then they see the community. They see this like this thriving community, really. And that's something that I think is so special that we're really creating here. And everyone's so welcoming to like the newcomers. I've seen has been here, the Mr. Helpful Ben. But like everyone is just really, really helpful, and without any regard to themselves, because we just want to continue to grow because we know what this technology will unlock for us in the future. You know, and it's just freedom from corporations who tell you that IKEA's got the best art, Walmart's got the best art, you know, like, or the commercials tell you. And you know, everyone knows this if they've listened to any of these podcasts. Is I am a art convert. I didn't actually believe that I would ever enjoy and or appreciate art in general, just because I didn't have a palette really to choose, or a buffet to choose from. Now it's like I have a buffet and I get to find art that resonates with me, and that's something I feel like I was robbed from, and I feel like the world is a bit robbed from, and I think they're going to realize it, you know, as time goes on and as the user experience gets easier, that like they like this is just a no-brainer. Like getting to you know, be close to the people who are creating the things you enjoy and appreciate most is a super special thing, and I feel like everyone should be able to like have that, you know, and not have to go through the loops and, you know, the whole like I don't know how to put it. Like there's just so much red tape to try and do this outside of like right now I could tip someone inside this Discord channel and it's just so easy. And I love that. And I don't want to have to be like, I don't want to have to fill out a form and say like what this was for and da 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 and then this and that and other. I think we've really been liberated above something that has been restraining us for so long. And anyway, I'm rabbit trailing.
Yeah, very much so. Like
Yeah.
in the traditional world, if I wanted to build NFT Hub like as a product, like I would have to incorporate a business and like go through all this licensing shit and make sure I'm doing everything right. But in the crypto world, I can just do it and launch it as a DAO, which we actually have the DAO live. It's a DFO actually. They call them decentralized flexible organizations because there's a bunch of little like plugins and stuff you can add to it. It's pretty cool. But like then I don't have to worry about like publicly launching stocks or like investors or anything. It's like if you want to support the project, you can donate to the Gitcoin grant, and if you want to have a say in the project, then get some DAO tokens or just be active in the community and you'll earn some, and you have a voice. Like I just think it's a way better way to do things than like traditional capitalist bullshit.
Yeah. No, we have Rogan is trolling a bit, saying he loves IKEA. I'm like, come on. I'll admit it. IKEA it's got cool stuff. I do spend way more than I'm willing to admit, but it's got nothing on Bruce's art. So, and then like honestly,
I've actually made a conscious decision to like not sell like mass-produced crap.
Yeah,
I
right.
could go on like Teespring. Like I might do T-shirts and stuff at some point, but like for my actual art, like yeah, I could go to like Society 6 and let anybody that wants to print off 1,000 copies of my artwork for $20 a piece. But like then it kind of kills it for me.
Yeah.
Like I think the thing that really got me into it was the crypto art community. So like the thing that really I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the thing that really gets me on it is that like they can prove exactly how many there are, exactly when and where they came from, etc. And it's like I don't really want to like expand past that. I kind of love that it's just crypto.
Yeah. No, and this really parallels a lot with, you know, how everyone is always saying, you know, buy locally, support your local community. That's actually how I feel when I'm buying art in these, you know, in the crypto world, is I'm supporting I feel like this is my local community, you know, especially with COVID and everything. We're sort of like confined a bit. I don't think it's going to change when, you know, I think it just helped us realize quicker, like what we really liked and what we have access to right at our computers. But it does make me, and you know, I'm actually curious if anyone agrees with me or not, but like, I do feel like it has the same effect as buying locally. Like, and that leads me into my next question about like how was like that experience of selling your first art piece. Like everyone kind of has like a nice little like story behind that, and I'm curious about yours and how that panned out. I mean, if you want to tell it, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it was I was actually working at a pizza place at the time with a friend of mine, like just picking up some under the table hours, and like I just let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I even remember the title of it. Like I think I even put in the description that like it was adapted from a video that I took a clip out of and modified and like made into the piece that I thought was awesome. I think I sold it for 0.1 ETH, which at the time was like $14. Like,
Yeah.
even that was like, wait a minute, so he just bought my art? Like, hold on, this is crazy.
Well, here's
Right.
here's a question for you, right? I mean, we've seen some pieces come out, and I know you and I have talked behind the scenes, and you gracefully showed me some images that you were choosing from on what you were going to list, and it seems that you chose absolutely perfectly with the success you've been having. Question is, are you going to be creating more for the platform, and are they going to be any different from the ones that we're seeing now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to create more on Terra Virtua. I was thinking I might continue the series from that specific program, because I once I decided to list them on Terra Virtua, I didn't mint any more of them anywhere else. There's maybe 3 of them in the wild before I decided to do the series on TV. I think, Jeff, you have one of the Hail Helix ones, and then there's one on
Yes, I do.
cryptoart.ai, and then there's a one of one in the NFT Hub loot box, which is when we sell the founders keys, quote unquote. 'Cause I don't know if that's actually going to be what they're called, but we're going to do a private beta with a pre-sale NFT that actually controls access to the private beta.
Wow.
And then when we do that, everybody that has it will be entered into a raffle to win a NFT that actually contains a multi-coin wallet inside the NFT. So like you can crack it open and there's like a dozen NFTs in there and some tokens.
So
And
much
Bruce says
innovation.
he's not an influencer.
You just influenced me, man. How'd you do
Yeah,
that?
you're
Why? Where's this
influencing
FOMO coming
everybody to
from?
learn-
I feel this
to learn more.
FOMO welling up within me. I do have a question.
No,
Which one was your favorite
go ahead, Russ.
here?
Go ahead.
Which so like, or do you have a favorite? Is it like I think someone said it's like picking your favorite child. You really just can't. But do you have a favorite? If you're looking at my screen here.
Yeah, definitely. Plague was my favorite. I was gonna buy it, and then somebody was faster than me.
I love hearing that, honestly. Like, and that's not the first time I've heard artists be like, "Dang it! Like, I released it, it sold so fast, I couldn't even buy it." And like, nowhere else you would hear that. Like, you wouldn't see someone have a physical piece and be like, "Wait, no!" On the auction, like, let me buy that one instead. Like, you don't see that anywhere.
I step around to this side of the counter and put my money down.
Yeah.
Step back around this side and take it. Be like, "This is my art now."
I'm not ready to let it go. No, I love seeing that too, and I'll see sometimes. Like I remember talking to Stenna, and she's like, I was trying to get her to sell me a Ganoodle if you know about her stuff, and she's like, no.
Oh, I love the Ganoodle.
She was like, no, that's my favorite Ganoodle. I even made the stickers out of it, and I'm like, you really don't have a price, do you? She's like, nope. I'm like, that's respectable right there. Like I respect you so much more that you wouldn't sell me this Ganoodle, even though I'm a little sad. But I can see why you like this one. I'm like. I love like I really wish I could just see like how it is all done. I know you explained a little bit, but it's just so fascinating that you were able to, and like the fact that this has to do with your past works and you generated it, and it's insane, man. And that's like nobody thinks about this stuff. Like I really think we have some like a powerhouse of innovators, and that's why we just see things and we can't keep up.
I think that's why I love the space so much. Is like because we have like so many brilliant minds doing creative things, and then like we have creative people getting in and like learning the technical side of stuff and coming up with other ideas, and it's just a perfect melting pot of brains.
Yeah, if
some of like the most brilliant, innovative people in the world are in the NFT space right now, and it's gonna be insane in a few years from now.
It's impossible to be bored. Impossible, and that
Yes,
that actually
it really is.
segues me into
I don't have time to be bored.
another question. Like, what are you looking forward to most in the crypto space, just generally speaking? Like, and what do you anticipate in the next 5 years?
I think one of the things I'm looking forward to most is like just people pooling their resources and skills to create incredible projects. Like, for example, I can do a lot of different art stuff, but like I can't do any of the back end things. So like one example would be CryptoTwerpz. It's a collectibles series on wax, where like they just invited a bunch of artists to like create the art, and we all got paid a portion of the sales, and they did the pack release and all the marketing and all that stuff.
That's really cool. I've actually seen it more like developers and artists are coming together in troves, and
Yeah,
someone
do, like really cool stuff.
It's really, and then someone also, and it was an artist, and then they may be listening, but they were telling me, because I haven't had these interactions, you know, I'm not collabing with these people, and they say that it's interesting because the developers want to be artists, and the artists are like, I wish I could develop, you know, like it is just so funny to see them kind of like, you know, I've just seen that becoming such a productive relationship, because you know how generative arts obviously came out of, you know, that had to be a collaboration, right? You have a developer or just a really tech savvy artist. So does anyone know when the first generative arts thing came out, or I really wish
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Someone one day tell us the full story if you have it. I would love to know. But I love seeing the collaboration, and like everyone's just so willing to, you know, throw their hat in the ring, and you know, it's just super cool just to be a part of this.
I love that about the space too. Is like there's so many artists that I very much look up to as artists, and like I love their work, and I've gotten to collab with people, and it's like I kind of fangirl. Like I did a collab with Vans Design, and like the whole time we were talking about it, I was kind of fangirling. It's like, oh my god, I cannot believe I'm doing art with this dude right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Vans is really good. Vans is actually going to be with us on the show. I think day after tomorrow, I believe.
Do you?
So it'd be fun. Talk to him about that.
Do you have any advice for up and coming artists? Like so if someone's just like, I know you've given this probably a million times, and people probably hit you up like, oh man, how you do it? But if you just have like a blanket statement, like so someone's wanting to get their feet wet, you know, they just anyway, like what would you tell them to do? What's important?
I think the best piece of advice I've gotten in this space since I started like really pouring myself into art was create something today, even if it sucks.
Wow.
And I just think that's a great statement. Like just to keep your creative motivation flowing, be like, it's just challenging yourself to do something, you know, like even if you don't like it, and in this particular space, even if you don't min it, like just make something to like keep your
that's true though, because you know, as you grow in the space though, Bruce, your older stuff could be actually more valuable. Like, you know, I mean, it's subjective, so it might be shit to your eyes, but it could be gold to a customer's eyes, you know.
Yeah, I've actually canceled listings on some of my older stuff, just like hold on to it for a year or so and see where it goes. Be like, I made this piece in 2020. People be like, what?
That is really cool. Like that, and I love how the blockchain allows you to kind of like relive that and track to see like who purchased, and then even see like the hands it swaps, the value appreciation, and I mean, how does that like look like? Do you ever look at like the analytics and see your artwork getting like just on the secondhand marketplace? Like, how does that make you feel?
Oh, that like blows my mind. I think one of the pieces that I have the best example of that would be the Trash Supper. Which, like,
I want to see
when the whole
that.
trash art thing was going on, I'll find a link to it real quick. It was an edition of 10. I was like, because when I first started, I like was around the time the whole trash art thing was really starting up, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to do trash art. Like, I like the whole idea behind it of like, who are you to say what's art and what's not, and the whole creative freedom thing. And then like, I was actually at that pizza place that I worked at for maybe 2 weeks. When I sold my first piece, I was like, maybe I should do trash art, because that seems to be like a thing, but I don't want to be pandering.
It was
I don't
big
think, oh my
for a
god,
while.
the Trash Supper. Like, I really enjoy wordplay and stuff. And I think I sold 10 editions of that for around $6 a piece at the time, whatever the ETH price was 10, 11 months ago, for $6.
You know,
and then like,
sorry, go ahead.
most recently, I saw someone buy one for 3/4 of an ETH, like 0.75. So like that was $6 when I sold it. So I just got 800 for it. That's crazy.
that is nuts, and I also love the fact that they're refining the revenue share system. Where I think Jim was working on some stuff where NFTs could carry that whole revenue stream like to the original creator or something is super cool. And like I actually would love to get him like an interview at some point. But I wanted to point out really quick, like this is Coco Bear who owns your favorite piece. Coco Bear literally like made me into the biggest like he basically got me into the NFT scene years and years and years ago. Like, so it's just like, I don't know, I'm just highlighting the fact like this is such a cool and tight-knit community that I literally just know these aliases, and there's such a real personality, and like literally I have a history with that guy, and it's crazy that it just connects to this full story, and like to be a part of that and being woven into it, man, like just nothing is better to me. It really is kind of like a very fulfilling experience, and as you were saying, it got you through, you know, like some times in your life that, you know, were tough. I mean, let's just be honest, and like I'm so happy that this is an outlet that is that enables you to be exactly who you want to be, and I'm super pumped to be a part of it, you know, and so happy that we can host your work here, and we're honored, honestly, man. Like this is like top notch. Like I feel like you're super humble, but you got to give yourself more credit. You really are making some real power moves, and your resilience, you know, and your it's just really
You're becoming an influencer, man. That's what Russ is trying to say.
It's impressive in so many ways, man, and I just want you to know that we see that. Like, this is cool. And we
I've actually told a few people, I think something that gives me a big advantage is that I was trying to do drop shipping before this, and like
that's hard. That's hard.
Like, talking to, yeah, it is hard to set up. I mean, you could probably make a ton of money if you do it right, but like there's just so much like forced professionalism involved, like when you're dealing with people and like banks and stuff like that. And I hate forcing myself to act professional, so like I decided that I'm not doing that in this space. Like I'm being me. If you don't like me, oh well.
We like you.
I don't know. That's okay.
You know, it's going off on that, Bruce. Do you have you know, can you list off a couple of your favorite artists in the space?
Yeah, there's so many incredibly talented art. Zach yesterday, I love his stuff. I gotta pick up one of his pieces one of these days. I mean, I feel like everybody says this, but Hackatow is actually one of my favorites. Like the detail in their work is just incredible.
I'm a big fan too. I didn't want to interject.
Yeah,
I could go on for like days. Dab Dragon, I love his stuff. I think I have like 4 or 5 of his pieces.
Is Dab here? I love Dab.
Yeah, where's
He's
Dab?
here somewhere.
Yeah, he needs to come in here and approve this chat.
Anyone else you want to give a shout out to? Because I think it's like I would love to give like a little segment one of these days where you just give shout outs. Like,
yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Rogan, who's been chatting away. Like he might be my biggest collector.
Oh, really? Was he the?
Yeah.
Everyone was thinking
like,
he was trolling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that's some top level trolling right there. He's the biggest collector, and he's saying he loves IKEA.
Yeah, he's actually he and I are really good friends.
Okay, like
did he scoop up one of the pieces off Terra?
I don't think so. I don't know who all got those.
Rogan.
I actually just recently opened up. I called it the Goose Gang Discord for like. I see a bunch of like Pranksy's got his Discord and Coldy's got one and a bunch of other people have them, and it's like, yeah, I should probably do that to like give the people who do care and like collect my art and like want to have more interaction with me that opportunity.
Is that the best way to keep up? Is that so anyone interested today and they want to keep up with like your art releases and stuff is joining your Discord? Is that the outlet for it?
Yeah, it'll start to be. Right now it's probably just follow me on Twitter. I yell at Twitter a lot.
I don't know if anyone has that link handy, but if you
I'll find it. Yeah, I'll post it.
Everybody, please follow and support Bruce. I do think there's.
And we also want to say, sorry, Russ, just because I know we're running really late here, but I do want to say for the community that's out there listening on both Discord and Twitch, if you guys had any questions for Bruce, why we have him online, start typing away in the voice chat now if you can, so that we can get to him for Bruce before we have to run here.
And I'm gonna give everyone.
And I'm dropping the link to. I'm dropping the link to Bruce's Twitter in the chat right now.
I'm gonna give everyone a head start on buying this one of one before I we finish this stream, because if it's still here, I'm going to buy
Yeah,
this.
it's a beautiful piece. That really is a beautiful piece. And
Honestly,
it's
it's a
very, very well
steal.
priced.
It's
Yeah,
100%
it really
steal.
is.
Like I don't even know why I mentioned it on stream, but like I'm anyway, like so let's change different subject. Don't give anyone any ideas. Rogan asks, "Oh, do you want to do the community segment, or am I jumping ahead?"
No, yeah, we could just go ad hoc here. That's fine. But Rogan asked, when Goose Gang NFT drop?
You'll have to be more specific, Rogan, because you're in the OG Goose Gang people, and I know I'm way behind on that. Or do you mean like the new Goose Gang drops?
Be more specific, Rogan.
We got a lot of people with new stuff.
He said new stuff.
There's one so far for when I set up the liquidity pool for Feathers and ETH. The first LP provider besides myself will get an NFT for it, and then I'm probably gonna do like monthly activity leaderboards in the Discord, and there'll be a bunch of different stuff going on in there. It's probably also the best
That's
place
cool.
to keep up with like all the random projects I keep starting and not finishing.
You sound
I'm really
like me.
good at ideas. I'm not so great at finishing things.
So this is an interesting question from Mandel Sage, and I think a lot of people in the community picked up on this, Bruce. And the question is, I remember a little while ago you were scammed somehow. I can't remember details, but you seem to have bounced back. How did that all go down? And maybe some advice for people to avoid certain things.
Yeah. I guess the best advice is do your own research. Don't assume everything's safe just because you see it advertised on Etherscan. I downloaded a program called DAO Poker, which seemed really cool, like smart contract powered buy-ins and payouts and stuff for poker. Like, seemed pretty much like a no-brainer. Like, yeah, I'll get this. That sounds cool. And turns out it had a nasty little Trojan in it, and that Trojan gave somebody access to my MetaMask, which had 4 wallets in it, and all got drained of everything. Well, luckily they didn't touch my NFTs because they weren't very smart. So that would have been way more devastating than the lost funds.
Yeah, or they didn't want to spend the time going through the NFTs. That's crazy, though. I mean, so it seemingly sounds like you bounced back from that and you got over that hump a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, so as far as bouncing back, like financially, Rogan actually was. I wouldn't have let him if he would have asked me about doing it, but he set up a auction with Daniel Pan's Art Gallery Auction House, and a bunch of people donated art to sell, and that got me back on my feet for the most part financially. Wow. And then like just emotionally, like I feel like it's all house money at this point, and because I got into crypto with like $100, and I've paid my rent for the past year, and I can buy myself stuff, and I have like a couple thousand NFTs. So I feel like I've done all right, and it's all house money. Like, and I feel like money is fleeting. Also, like it's not really my primary motivation for being here. Like the community is. So like yeah, I got hacked. It's kind of like, in a way, I felt like it's kind of a rite of passage. Like, all right, that's out of the way. Let's get back to it.
That whole experience helped me realize how much like the capacity of the community, because they rally behind you. Like I kind of watched it from afar.
I had to stop looking at Twitter for a couple days because every time I started scrolling through Twitter, I started tearing up because like people were so awesome. It's like, man,
that's crazy.
Yeah, genuinely.
Like, why don't people give a damn about me?
That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Like literally, like honestly,
that's true. It's really incredible.
It's just the power of community, right? And I feel, everyone is, like you said before earlier on this, it's just everyone's from different backgrounds and different countries, even different personalities, and it's just we're finding this common theme with collectibles, or we have traders that come in that still kind of dabble with talking to people that do collectibles, but it just seems like it's just like one gigantic global family. And this kind of goes off of what we said before about how we just don't really see a lot of bad actors in this space. And when you have a problem, you kind of see the power of this community come together and really support one another, which is it's unusual in a positive way. And I'm at least glad you experienced that,
It's very different than anything I've ever experienced in the real world or anywhere else on the internet, really.
Totally.
My social life has been online for a decade, so lockdown didn't really do much to me on that note, or on that front, but I've been in a bunch of different gaming communities and stuff like that, but there's nothing out there like the NFT and crypto art community.
Yeah, I agree.
Some other people shouting out to you too.
I totally agree. Bruce is cool. The first time I joined Whale, he was playing Pokemon.
Does everyone have a Bruce story? Like, we'll have to have a segment. Tell us your story of how Bruce changed your life. Bruce changed, affected me in the following ways. I do have to say, we're the real melting pot. I want to throw that in there. Sorry, Jeff.
No, we totally are the melting pot, and I agree. And I want to give this, I know I asked this before, but if you guys, we definitely have to take any last minute questions right now. So if you want to ask something to Bruce or have a funny story or comment you want to throw in, now or never, get it into the chat, please, into the voice chat, and over the next 30 seconds or so that way we can release Bruce from his slumber with Russ.
I do tend to put people to sleep. My wife tells me that.
Anyways, okay. Back to the.
I actually don't take that too far. That was an innocent joke.
No, it's yeah. That's fine. All right, so about 20 more seconds. Give everybody some time in. Please, somebody type a question in here to absolutely change this odd atmosphere that Russ brought up.
So as far as these questions, what other platforms do I sell on? Practically all of them. I'm not on Super Rare or Nifty Gateway, which at this point is a conscious choice to no longer apply because I don't agree with their capitalist elitist nonsense. That's to put it nicely, I guess. I could say more,
we love you, Duncan and Griffin. Just a little blanket statement.
Yeah, you guys can love them. My opinions are my own. But I'm on Known Origin, Blockchain Art Exchange, OpenSea, Rarible, Async Art.
What's your favorite?
Atomic Hub on Black.
Don't answer that if it's not Terra Virtua.
I was gonna say besides the obvious. Being
Okay,
Terra Virtua,
cool.
I would say Async Art.
Nice. I like what they do. They're really cool.
They're so crazy.
That is true. I'm still trying to understand.
Creative block for months on what do I even do with all this potential?
Right.
I've done a couple day-night pieces where every day and every night at 7 a.m. and p.m. my time it changes back and forth between two states.
That's a thing?
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like I'm so far behind. I'm just gonna come to you for for the scoop, or your app. That's what the app's for, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
Pretty soon.
I see it
getting
now.
directory set up properly, so it'll automatically categorize and people can upvote and people can submit their own stuff.
I'm sure there's some smart people in the crowd too who would assist in any way. Oh, we got Rogan throwing some items of yours out.
Oh yeah, that was the original Goose Gang. As far as I know, I was the first person in the world to do a quote unquote loot box for NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the Goose Gang member cards, where every month everybody who has one gets a NFT airdrop and some of my personal token. And
that's a cool idea, right, Russ?
I've been writing stuff down the whole time, so.
Yeah.
Picking. This is really just I feel like we're consulting Bruce on how to run our business. That's all this is right now. How much do we owe you, Bruce, cool. After this? Are you just gonna give us an invoice?
Well, no. I think what Bruce is showing here is it just goes to show you, artists out there and artists that might perhaps be listening right now is connect with your community. That is just the core of your brand, and that's what it's going to be is connecting with people individually and as a group as a whole.
I think the best advice that I can give is never take yourself too seriously. As soon as you stop having fun, it becomes a job, not a hobby or a passion. So
I couldn't agree more.
Definitely.
Couldn't agree more.
Definitely.
If I couldn't do stuff that I think is silly and fun and maybe people will buy it, probably not, but if I couldn't just put that crap out there, I wouldn't enjoy doing this so much. I've tokenized probably half a dozen memes that I made. They're just this is fun.
Is there a story behind BruceTheGoose? I know we're wrapping up. We're already on the hour. I really just want to know, where did this? Because it's a brand that and it fits you so well. But how did the name BruceTheGoose ever? How did that culminate?
So for a very long time in gaming communities, I've gone by Batman, which started probably around the days of like Halo 3, and like so
I love
for the
Halo.
longest time, I'm just like second nature answer to Batman, and then like that bled out into like on some different social apps and stuff. I just started using the name Bruce to like have that somewhat anonymity. Like maybe I don't want to tell you people my real name that I'm just talking to on like weird apps and stuff. It's like, all right, I'm Bruce. Go by that. And then when I got into NFTs through Engine, which like my entry point was gaming, and I don't even have time to game anymore. But I wanted to do Let's Plays on YouTube with some of like the blockchain games and stuff, and I was like, well, I can't really be Batman on YouTube and not have to deal with copyright nonsense, so I'll just be
Yeah.
Bruce. But that's boring. I can't just be Bruce. And I was like, all right, well, BruceTheGoose.
That's
going with that.
actually
And
impressive.
just kind of stuck.
That's a way cooler story than I would have like. Yeah, no, I actually didn't pick up this Bruce Wayne. So if anyone who isn't,
But yeah,
that makes sense. Like that's
I
really
can't
cool.
really be Bruce Wayne, you know, like that's.
And now we can say Bruce-a-goosey. I'm so
Yep.
sorry.
No,
I had
no,
to
no,
make-
no, no.
we
no.
were getting- we
Bruce,
needed a little
the
more cheese.
Influencer, the goose.
Oh yeah.
Bruce, the influencer, the goose.
Don't let that
That's what
stick,
Like
man.
since then, I've started to like own the whole goose thing. Like like on a bunch of different things, I put my location as migratory.
Oh wow, that's good. I
tell
love.
people all the time,
yeah.
like when I try to tell
Spherical's
people
right.
about like the NFT space, it's like, come on in, the water's fine, and there's barely any goose poop in it.
Spirical just said we got the origin story for Bruce the Goose, and that we did. So, Bruce, obviously, I want to thank you for the time. I know we ran over a little bit today, which is totally fine, but this is awesome. I think my favorite part was actually learning where your name came from, and understanding you a little bit more. But no, thank you for coming on, having a chat with Russ and I in the community. Community, we do want to thank you for tuning in with Bruce. If you wanted to drop any last minute questions, do so now. But we're going to wrap up, and there are 2 pieces left in the Terra Virtua art gallery
Soon to
under
be
Bruce
one.
the Goose. Soon to be 1, because it looks like Russ is going to beat somebody to pick that up, that piece for 180. So if you're thinking about getting a Bruce the Goose piece, I would suggest do so now. If Russ gets that piece, there will only be 1 left, which is a 1 of 1. Which is good to know because everybody loves rarities around here. So after that, we know Bruce is going to upload more art to Terra Virtua. We don't know when, which I assume, Bruce, wink, wink, you'll be telling me sometime soon. But if you are interested in picking up that Bruce piece and getting started with a collection from Bruce or getting a piece from him into your current collection, I would highly suggest go do so now. And so thanks again to everybody. Thanks again to Bruce, and we shall see you guys tomorrow.